The second one is that I am surprised that somebody says he's playing an advisory role and yet claiming ownership of key policies that have been implemented. Has he ever produced? You see, you don't offer advice in government verbally. You offer those pieces of advice by writing your advice. Have you ever seen advice from Dr. Bawumia to the president on Ghana card? Have you ever read the advice of Dr. Bawumia on digitalization? So on what basis is he claiming ownership of those matters? Because he mentions them? So, as somebody who advises the state, what was his advice to the president and the cabinet of Ghana on the IMF program that we entered into? Don't forget that he has not signaled that he would review the IMF program. And yet, he is reviewing the IMF program in his manifesto. You see, the taxes that he says he will abolish. When we entered into IMF, one of our biggest problems was fiscal consolidation. And the government put together a revenue or a resource mobilization strategy. That resource mobilization strategy included the e-levy, included all the taxes that he claims to be abolishing. On the basis of that, the government signed an agreement evidencing that those strategies will lead to fiscal consolidation. And it is on the basis of that you have been given $3 billion. So you cannot now sit here, say that you are going to do things contrary to the international agreement that you signed. Are you now scamming the IMF? Have you changed the revenue mobilization strategy that you presented to anchor the IMF program? By the way, the revenue mobilization strategy went to the economic management team where he was the chair. He should show us his advice to cabinet, which said remove those taxes, and that the cabinet did not listen to him. He should show that document. You don't make advice verbally in government. You write. Have you seen that advice of Dr. Bawumia's economic management team? Proposing to cabinet that those taxes should not be part of our revenue mobilization strategy to the IMF. What are you saying? So you go around, go and put taxes on our people, you get approved by the IMF, you receive 3 billion, out of which now you have received 1.520 billion. Now you come and stand before the people and say, oh, when I come, I am not going to continue, I'm going to abolish them. Who are you deceiving? Are you scamming them? That is my next point.
Well, you see, he makes a point that he agrees.
Yeah, so let me ask this question. I have heard people say that as a vice president, he doesn't have the powers. But the mandate that the president has given him, Ghanaians know. Did Akuffo promise one village, one dam?
Yes, he did.
No, it was Bawumia who appeared in Tumu. And they took him to an irrigation site. He was excited at what he saw. And he said, I will do this in every village. That was not Akuffo. Okay? The person that doesn't have power got that implemented by the government. So it was Bawumia who went to meet party people and promised them that when we win power, I will make sure that 1 million comes to your constituency for you people to share. That was the origin of 1 million per constituency. Was that the president promise? It was Bawumia who had said he will move the economy from taxation to production. Was it not implemented by Akuffo? It was the same Bawumia who told us that when they get into power, go and read the lectures that were delivered by Dr. Bawumia at Central University College. Go and pick the MPP manifesto on the economy. It is that lecture that metamorphosed into the MPP manifesto. Is that not it? So whose manifesto was it? Akuffo or Bawumia? So those people who are trying to help the man run away from some of the obnoxious policy prescriptions that led us to this cannot exonerate Bawumia from. Why? He didn't know that he was the vice president when he said that the economic management team that he led was the best ever. What is the use of an adversary body, no matter how strong it is? We were not in this country. When he said that Alan Tramantin, as if they were the panacea, he made us believe that because of these people, because of these Harvard-trained guys, Ghana will not land where we have landed. And this is where they landed us. And he, the leader, a Simon Fraser scholar, should be trusted. We have trusted him to our peril.
Why do you want to mention their school session?
No, it is very important. It is very important because you see, Professor Jampo, some people believe that they behave as if when they went to school and they were taught by the professors all died and didn't get to teach anybody again. So they are the only people who are the reciprocity of academic and professional knowledge. And these are the people who have led us here. We must mention their qualifications for people to know that, look, these guys are carrying very hefty schools along. And this is where they led us. When somebody says that, oh, he cannot do it because the budget is in the name of the president. Why? Were we not in this country in 2019? When Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia said he was going to have a stakeholder engagement as part of the economic management team for the first time, you remember? That was that engagement he turned into a lecture when he was struggling to explain that it was warped logic to say that when the fundamentals are weak, and his own people were laughing. The head of the economic management teams were laughing. You remember that? Out of the blue, Bawumia announced that the taxes that had been agreed in the budget, the president's budget, Bawumia was varying that budget at that stakeholder engagement.
You say he was varying?
Bawumia came and announced that the taxes that we have agreed and approved in Parliament for import duty to be collected at the port, he was so go-to, giving 50% discount on the benchmark for selected goods and services.
The benchmark violation policy?
I'm saying that those things were already in the budget. The president's budget as they claim now. But Bawumia was on a platform saying that he was giving 50% benchmark discount for selected goods and services and 30% for vehicles. So why can't he do it now? Is it not the same budget that was approved then in 2019? It was approved in 2018, November, December, and in 2019, July, August. Bawumia was busy varying that agreement.
So you're saying what? The argument
I am simply saying that it is not true.
Does not mean
it is not true that because he is the president and because the budget has already agreed revenue measures, those revenue measures cannot be changed now by the vice president who has a track record of changing those revenue numbers. Track record in our country. Speaking to facts. Something surgeon. That building. That was where he did it. Is it not true that he gave discount on benchmark values, which affected the revenue yield for the year?
Maybe they are discussed and he just announced.
The important thing is that
he announced
the president did not bring any memo to cabinet, to parliament.
But you are not a member of
Parliament. The president came with his budget. We approved the budget, and somebody that we claim doesn't have the power was busy announcing something different. As part of his ENT engagement, he was varying our budget, the president's budget. So he can do it.
So I'm coming to the extent that Dr. Bano says because this 2024 budget has been approved.
And it was 2019 budget approved in December 2018 that he was varying in November 2019. What I say? And implementation started immediately. So what is he saying? He hasn't done it before. The reason he can't do it now is because he's collecting $3 billion from those taxes. As a result of the revenue mobilization strategy, he championed at EMT, submitted to cabinet, and cabinet through the president submitted to IMF for our fiscal consolidation effort.
So that's the 11.
So all the things you say you will remove, they are already in there he took that to IMF to convince the IMF that on the basis of that, Ghana should receive $3 billion and an additional $5.4 billion from the World Bank, and receive in total over 13.5 billion from creditors in debt restructuring. That was what he did. So is he now scamming them that only came to deceive you? Have you seen in his manifesto that he is going to review the IMF program? So on what basis are you still going to run a program you were part of in approving, collecting all the proceeds, and suddenly now proposing things that are outside the program? Look, gold for oil, you sign up with the IMF. That as a result of this IMF program, one of the things they should do at the Bank of Ghana is to stop the gold for oil. You agreed. You have received $1.5 billion already for agreeing. And you are looking forward to another 1.5 billion for agreeing. For agreeing, the World Bank is giving you $4.5 billion. You agreed. Creditors through the debt restructuring are giving you 13.5 billion because you agreed.
To face
and now you come and yes, and now to come and tell us that program. You expand what you have gone to promise. How is that possible?
So the promise was what? To phase out the gold for oil program.
Because it is not just phase out. It is because there are transitional agreements. So the IMF says when you complete these agreements, scrap the gold for oil. Don't go back to it. Now you come and tell Ghanaians that my solution to dealing with the stability of the city is that I will ignore the IMF and I'll go ahead and scam them. And you think that Ghanaians don't think will fall for this? Clearly, it means that you don't have a solution. Do you understand? I am saying that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is being haunted by his own standards that he claimed we should hold him to. He told us that he was an economic whiz kid. He was roaming at Malata Market, telling us how prices were rising. Didn't he know he would be a vice president, a driver's mate? He was the one telling us how to restore the value of the city. Didn't you know he was going to only be a vice president and a driver's mate? As a matter of fact, since he became vice president, he has never told us that he was a driver's mate until now that he wants to get power. He kept telling us that he was the best vice president that has ever lived. And you are appropriating the president's achievement for yourself without demonstrating to us that there's any advice from your EMT that you can lay claim that led to any policy, except you telling us what you want to tell us. Jampo, you know, Prof, I was very happy when we were talking about the marking that they were marking and saying that they have scored 80%. Go and read the 2017 budget presented by the president. Now they say the budget is for the president, which is okay. So presented by Akuffo. In that budget, if you go and read from page 80 to 83, just 3 pages, it won't be difficult to read. Find out what they reported as the roads that were constructed by the NDC for ending 2016. They had to give a record, an update, before telling us what they want to do. In those updates, just what do you call it? Routine maintenance alone, we did 10,000 kilometers in that document. Reshaping and redrafting, we did 16,000, and some people are here boasting of 12,000 and telling us that it is the best that has ever happened in our country. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama didn't write that budget. Setepe didn't write that budget. It is Ken Oforiata trumpeting the achievement of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama in the 2017 budget. And in that budget document, we calculated 41,000 kilometers. So please, go and hide that your 12,000 somewhere. You are retrogressing. You are moving us backwards. And you see, you think that when you lie so repeatedly, it becomes the truth. Have you to be hearing these 12,000 kilometers? Did you ever know that in their own budget that they presented, they were touting John Mahama of doing 41,000 kilometers by 2016?
And this is in the 2017.
17, but I said particularly page 80 to 83. Go and read. You can go and read.
No, I have the data here, so I need to go and read.
So I want to go and read.
No, I have the data here.
And some them.
No, they are different. Why is it
Which budget are you talking?
I'm not reading a
Not
budget.
the Hansard budget. No, your document.
This is the State of the Nation delivered to
I said
Parliament
budget.
by the President.
There's a difference between the budget.
I am saying that the budget.
I mean, this data.
Hold on. Let's establish a few things.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
Hold on.
Right.
Gentlemen, hold on.
No, so I'm saying that if you disagree with me, right, and let me make my point.
No, I've not. You were the one who referred to me.
I said read the budget. I didn't say State of the Nation.
You continue.
I didn't say go and read the State of the Nation.
You continue.
I said go and read the budget.
There are two separate.
Go and read the budget. You go and read something else.
Hold on. There's the State of the Nation.
I said go and read the budget.
And I have the data
I'm
here.
saying the budget.
No. I have the data here.
Are you?
I'm not. Did I mention State of the
I'm not
Nation?
coming in. He's the one who is coming.
Did I mention State of the Nation?
No. Hold on.
I said 2017 budget, and I've given you the pages. Then you go and read an irrelevant document.
How is it irrelevant, Prof?
How can State of the
Honorable.
Nation be used as a superior document over the budget?
No, but where is the data coming from?
I'm saying that the budget.
So where is the budget data coming
Why
from?
you hate the budget?
No, I'm asking.
You fear the budget?
No, I'm asking.
I said read the budget.
No, I'm saying where is the data coming from?
Read the budget.
No,
I don't know where it's
we
coming
want to
from.
know the source of
I
the
don't
data.
know. I don't
and I'm
know.
giving you a
What I'm
source of the
saying
data
that
here.
Professor Jampo,
Okay.
the official record in Parliament submitted by the President to represent the 2017 budget, which gives account of how we ended 2016, and then postulate forward what we are going to do for the next 4 years, gives me that data. And it tells me under Rose, in fact, the description that Ken Ofurata makes, he said that there have been very heavy investment by the government in the road sector. That was his language for John Mahama. Then he goes on to break them down. When you sum them, if you one of them, just 80. One of them, 80 to 83, you'll find it there.
Okay.
I am not saying it.
This
Ken
is
Ofurata is
the
saying the president is saying
2017 budget, and not the State of
not
the
the State of the Nation.
Okay.
You see, Prof. Jampo, if you have this type of student, you are in trouble. Because they ask you go and read budget. You come and read.
Prof, is he?
Let me make my point. Let me make my point.
You are a professor, and I'm an economist and a statistician.
I'm making my
I
point.
deal with a source of data. So you cannot just tell me that go and read. Where is that source coming from? You need to provide it. Prof, agree or disagree?
Hold on. Let me
Do you hear that?
No.
When you were talking, do you hear my mouth? I was quiet. Because I wanted you to do same.
No, hold on. There were two specific references made. You mentioned specifically the 2017 budget. Dr. Bano, you are making reference to the State of the Nation address. I think the underlying issue here is those are two different documents.
Yes, agreed.
So if we are making reference to a particular page of a particular document that Honorable Adongo is quoting to respond to it, I just want to think that it's not going to situate the matters in the right context.
No.
I'll come to you.
The source of the data is very, very important.
So
we need to know
the source
because
of
the budget provides a source.
Which
That's what I'm saying.
Which sonar is this? 2017 sonar?
No, 2022. Yes. And the source of the data is there. No, the 2022 categorizes from 2009 to 2021.
Wait.
Is he?
I'm coming.
Let me make a point.
Dr. Bano, hold on.
With this, the source of the data is clearly highlighted.
Okay.
And what I'm saying is that Honorable Adongo should just give me the source of that data in the budget. That is all I'm saying.
That's why it's okay.
That is all I'm saying.
At the time you are talking to the 6 years before John Mahama left office.
Okay, it's
when he left office, a few months later, 3 months later after he left office, your government came to praise him and gave the data. Now, 6 years later, you are saying that you have a certain document which is not what I'm referring to. It's not what I'm referring to. The year you are referring to is not even the year I'm referring to. So, what are you saying? I am simply saying that when these people tell you they have done 80%, it's equivalent to them saying that 12,000 is better than 41,000 kilometers. That is their stock in trade. That's their stock in trade. If you don't take your time to research the things they tell you, you'll be laughing at the wrong side of your mouth. Especially if you make a mistake and you go and use that data to do some work. You will struggle to answer questions. So, this press, I was not even paying attention to it, but it was the excerpts I started hearing because I was busy thinking about how to sell John Mahama's manifesto to the people of Ghana. That was the most relevant thing for me.
Okay.
But subsequently, I hear the voices on social media, TikTok, and I say, hey, is that what was happening that day? Then I've lost power. Because I didn't know that it was an amusement meeting. An entertainment.
This is
I mean,
the press.
Somebody was taking this country for a ride. Look, Cocobod, everybody knows. The economic management team and cabinet is aware that Cocobod sent out requests for proposal for banks to subscribe to give loans to Cocobod, and they refuse. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows, including cabinet, through the IMF program, that you restructured 13 billion of your debt at Cocobod. The Cocobod was engulfed in 13 billion Ghana cedis debt that it couldn't pay. When you were refusing to pay the people and telling them that you can't pay and you were begging them to restructure, what were you thinking? That they will still bring you more money? You were speaking to you.
Well,
and you have a vice president sitting on the EFT saying that I don't know there are issues at Cocobod. And you don't call this an amusement meeting. Governance is a serious matter. People must get serious in this country. And His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, you have been found out that you don't have the wand that you claim. You are not the economic magician that you claim you are. At best, you are just a con man.
okay, well, you see,